Peace, peace, people. Let's do this again. Today, I figured I'd acknowledge, today I'm looking at this video. It's DMX's last prayer session, live interview. I guess it's the last time DMX spoke from his heart to the people before he was taken out by, I don't know how you want to look at it. His drug dealer, his bad habits that he couldn't break, his demons, so to speak. One thing I do know about D is that, I grew up listening to his music. I was in 7th grade, I believe, and we would play things like GoldenEye and, spend our afternoons listening to It's Dark and Hell is Hot. DMX was aggressive. His music was aggressive. You felt it. It pumped you up. It got you excited. And even though it was aggressive, I never felt like it made you want to be aggressive toward other people. After listening to a lot of what other people said about D, it's easy to see that, his demons he fought were within himself, and he wasn't trying to, invoke violence on others. So I think that was an interesting revelation that I had about DMX and his music, because there was a lot of aggressive, violent rappers in my day, and a lot of them, usually talked about doing harm to others, and I don't feel like D was like that. And I thought that was interesting, and I appreciate that about him. And so I wanted to hear what his last live was. So let's take a look at what D said before, we lost him.
Say what's up to everybody, you know what I'm saying? I love the support, you know what I'm saying? The continued support. Hanging around with me from day one, you know what I'm saying? Ups, downs, good.
Starts the video showing appreciation.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody that I come across,
thankful.
Anybody I cross paths with, I know, you know what I'm saying? When I see you, I show the same love you give me, you know what I'm saying? So I do appreciate it, you know what I'm saying? Right.
Even looking at this video, you see some of the things you always saw about D. He looked like he's always wrestling with,
a lot of people are like, yo,
his thoughts.
You want to say prayer? And the reason I didn't or haven't is because I feel like this is the time when you should learn to pray for yourself. You know what I'm saying? God has given you time away from the distractions. You gotta be on your shoe. Away from the distractions like that one. Away from the everyday hustle, things that we came to think were important. We're finding out haven't been that important at all. Haven't been that important at all. And starting to realize that.
All right, so the first thing he's talking about is how during these times, whatever you want to qualify it as, COVID, pandemic, government tight downs, lockdowns, whatever you want to call it. He's talking about how, this is his first time he felt like he should be praying for himself. Well, that's interesting. The first time he starts praying for himself is when we lose him. That's interesting. Let's go on.
It's really important. It's having our loved ones around us, having our loved ones with us. Close counters. Just get back to who we are, who we're supposed to be. The word is peace. Be still. That's the word. Peace. Be still.
Wow, it's interesting. And then the next minute, the next minute of the video, the first minute, he looks uncomfortable. But then he calmed himself down when he was talking about his loved ones and spending time with them and trying to be what we're supposed to be. And I guess instead of characters or, societal expectations or, plans or agendas.
We've gotten that. He forced us into it, But, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen, listen. God's going to make you listen. Believe that. He's going to sit you down. He will sit you down. And that's just what it is. This is what it is. There's some that were called home to God. And others who became aware of the grace that God was willing to give them by bringing them back from the brink of death. Scarface. Amen? Scarface. Making a recovery. Love you, brother. On the other hand, Fred the Godson. He's with God. Godson. Come on. He's with God right now. My condolences to the family. My condolences to the family of everyone that's lost someone. As a family member or a friend. We feel that pain. But we feel that pain because we're going to miss them being with us.
Damn, listening to D talk, I literally do feel a chill. I mean, when he talks about God, to see my man so comfortable with it, and just, you could just tell he knows it to be true. That in itself is refreshing. And then he goes into a passage out of the Bible, because all of his friends and those close to him said he's going to pray for you. He's going to pray for all of us, and he's probably going to do it before he does it for himself. Let's go on.
Opportunities will power, but they have no one to comfort them. So I declare that the dead who have already died are more fortunate than the living who are still alive. But happier than both are those who have never existed, who haven't witnessed the terrible things that happen under the sun. Ecclesiastes 4. That's the word.
Damn.
The best thing that we can hope for, the most important thing we can hope for, or pray for, or ask for, is that our desires coincide with God's will. Because at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, it's going to be God's will. It's always going to be God's will. You try to understand what his, why he does what he does, and it's going to end up with a headache. Just do the right thing. Do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Ecclesiastes 3. There is a season for everything, and a time for every matter under the heavens. A time for giving birth, and a time for dying. A time for planting, and a time for uprooting what was planted. A time for killing, and a time for healing. A time for tearing down, and a time for building up. A time for crying, and a time for laughing. A time for mourning, and a time for dancing. A time for throwing stones, and a time for gathering stones. A time for embracing, and a time for avoiding embraces.
You know what? I'll tell you one thing. I would go to DMX's church. I would have gone and listened to my man. One thing about his prayers and sermons is he definitely sounds masculine, dominant, confident, comfortable, like he knows something, like he believes it, like he knows it to be true in his heart and in his soul. And these are the type of people who I believe would be qualified preachers, leaders, ministers, and I'm not promoting religion. I'm not saying that, it's good or bad, or, right, wrong, or, accurate or false, parable, allegory. I'm not going into that. But what I am saying is that my interpretation of his perspective is a good, healthy one. A message of just do right, just do good, just do right. And what'll be will be. We can't control it. So just do right. And You can't, like he says, you can't figure it out, and you only get a headache if you try. But yeah, just do right. Let's go on.
A time for a time for embracing, a time for avoiding embraces. What? Come on. A time for searching.
Brush your teeth in less than 10 seconds.
Definitely go to his church.
A time for tearing. A time for repairing. A time for keeping silent. And a time for speaking. A time for loving. A time for hitting. A time for war. A time for peace. I mean, like I said, it goes back to, you're going to start with a prayer, you're going to do this with a prayer. Yo, there are no words more powerful than the book.
My man X reads the Bible like it's the Art of War manual. It's really, really interesting.
And your prayer, your own prayer, will do you a lot better than someone else praying for you. Whoever hasn't given their life to Jesus yet, whoever hasn't surrendered all the way.
Man said praying for yourself is gonna do you more good than praying for others. There's something to that effect.
Though there may be some of you who don't know how. I'm gonna walk you through that right now. If you're serious about it, you don't gotta be serious. But if you don't want to do it, don't. Hey, but if you're serious about it, right now, giving your life to the Lord, say it with me. Dear Lord Jesus, I realize I'm a sinner. I repent for my sins. And right this moment, I receive you as my Lord and Savior.
It's kind of painful.
Hey,
you know,
to hear this, did you?
I don't know. It's got me feeling some kind of way. To know that, this is basically his last day, and he's on live talking to random people, trying to help them save themselves.
Don't try to understand it. Just.
This is some sad shit. This is really some sad shit.
Keep that relationship with him. Keep that relationship with him, and even the things you don't understand won't be as hard on you as it would be if you try to understand.
Gosh, just the pain and the suffering in this man. It's really unbelievable.
Chills.
Just to know
I
that
put it on my heart.
he and others, but in this case, he carries such weight and pain and stress for so long. We all know we go through it, but jeez.
I ain't gonna change. I'm not gonna change. I love who I am. I'm God's child. We all are.
Peace and acceptance.
If you don't know it, you're gonna miss out on.
It's really all we can hope to obtain.
That he has for you.
You're tripping if you think there's something else better.
And it comes from insight. It just comes from being aware. Being aware. The word says, "My people perish for lack
Being
of knowledge."
aware. I couldn't agree with him more. There is nothing more important than being aware. Awareness is everything.
It's being lost. Not being able to found. Not being able to be found.
Being lost, not being able to be found. Jeez.
Ecclesiastes 3:16. I saw something else under the sun. In the place of justice, there was wickedness. You know, based on what was right, it was wickedness again. I thought to myself, God will judge both righteous and wicked people. Because there's a time for every matter and every deed. Oh, he's telling you right here. He's telling you. Let me do what I do and fall in. That's what it boils down to, bro. Again, you know, every album is a prayer. You know, and
every album he did have a prayer on it.
Grasp at every opportunity to pray. I'm saying I won't.
Jeez.
But it's more important.
First rapper to have 2 #1 albums in 1 year.
You might not always
Probably the only one, if I'm not mistaken.
You might not always be able to get in touch with somebody that can say a prayer for you, and you need a prayer. God has given you the time. He's given you the time to get closer to Him, to become familiar with you know, what's going on, how you're supposed to move. We've lost a lot of people. And again, my condolences go to their families. Like the word said, they're better off than we are. When you think about it, what hurts the most is that we won't see them again. They won't be here with us. Because we're suffering. Yeah. We're suffering. But as long as you got God, it's going to be all right. With God, whatever it is.
You know, it's kind of amazing. Depending on what you believe. I personally believe this life is an experience. You know? And I think we're supposed to experience whatever it is that we do. I'd like to believe that, or I like to hope that individuals can find, you know, peace, happiness, joy. You know, in this world, you're going to experience hardship, heartache, pain, suffering, misery to a certain degree, depending on your situation. And a lot more, you know, will suffer more than some. But, you know, it's really, really sad and unfortunate and hurts my soul that so many people just spend their whole life in pain, whole life suffering, whole life, no matter what they get. And like, that's another thing. It's like, you know, we're always told, and it's absolutely true, that, you know, you see somebody smiling, you see somebody in their big house, their nice clothes, this, that, and the third, and you assume that they're happy. But, you know, DMX had $30 million in the bank, never owned a Lambo, gave the shirt off his back to anybody who needed it, and still suffered endlessly. I mean, you know, every day try to better himself. All right, let's finish this video off.
It's going to be all right.
It's going to be all right, he says.
Have God. Whatever it is, it's going to be all right. You know that's God's will. The story's already been written. It's already been written.
The story's already been written.
And it refers to after already gone.
The story's already been written.
What makes you think we can change any aspect of what was already written? Let's get into the book. Get into the word. Get into the word. Get into the word. And it'll make whatever you're going through a lot easier to deal with.
The book gave him perspective, insight, and guidance.
I ain't gonna sit here and beat you in the head all day. You know what I'm
Helped him move
I said what I had to
in a
say.
healthier manner.
God bless. Peace.
Are vegans healthy?
God bless. So, I mean, what more can we say about it? On his last day and every day up to it, X was praying for everybody else, trying to give them guidance. And yeah, I guess in moments in that live, I saw, you know, a peace, an acceptance in himself, in this world, maybe. Yeah. Right now, I can't help but to think about the person who sold him the drugs that took him out. You know, I can only wonder what that dude thinks and feels, or if he does, or how could he? You know what I mean? All these thoughts go through my head, like, you know, you gotta watch. Like another person on here says, you better watch your circle for they hurt you. Yeah. I guess I'll just end it with, you know, I hope DMX is where he should be with his God, free of the burdens of this world. And on that note, peace.